boats at the gate. Qantas QF27, direct to Santiago. There's the plane out there, you might be able to see. There it is. There's the
Hello everybody, Mike here. Glad you could join me. Well, Max wants to get rid of some of the noise surrounding facts concerning the flat earth research. He doesn't want to belittle flat earth research, and so Mac posts a video which basically destroys the azimuthal equidistant projection map, which just so happens to be our flat earth map. So if you are a flat earther holding on to the azimuthal equidistance projection map, you may just want to shut this video off. As for the rest of you who are seeking and want answers and truth and don't want excuses for why things don't work, stay tuned because I am going to explain Max Egan's flight, and I'm going to cover some other flights concerning our projection map. This all started with the Flat Earth Shill Wall of Shame. Eric DeBay's Wall of Shills. Congratulations, Matt Parlin, you have made the wall. Next in line, oh, there's my buddy, Lord Stephen Christ. Was talking to him the other day. He's poking fun of me about Max Egan's flight, flat earth, haha, whatever. And, of course, Max Egan, who posted the nonstop from Sydney to Santiago. He also made the mistake of trying to be Eric's friend. I've spoken with Max. Out of all the people that claim to have taken this nonstop on my channel and other channels, he is the only one to provide me the tickets, his gate, his plane, and proof that he stopped in Santiago at the time he was supposed to stop. This here is a typical flight tracker. This is a QFA 28, which is actually Santiago to Sydney. And we can see the VOR in NBD, non-directional beacon, and the omnidirectional tracking picks up this flight in South America. Once it reaches the South Pacific Ocean, however, FlightAware loses track of it all the way until New Zealand picks it up. This here's the climb rates. New Zealand is not a tracker, it's a country. And so I have no idea what's getting the climb rate here from New Zealand. It's a country, it means nothing. Probably picked up by the Australian ATC. Then it goes off the radar again on its way to Sydney. And then the Australian ATC picks up this flight, which I'd said in my other video is controlled by the NOAA, NASA, and the FAA. This is Max's actual FlightAware tracking data. Max leaves Sydney, picked up by all these ground-based towers here. His last altitude was 29,000 feet. Max goes off radar on his way to New Zealand, picked up by New Zealand at approximately 1 a.m. Flying over New Zealand, he's picked up by Richard Pearse Airport, which is located in New Zealand, and he's climbing for some odd reason, and then suddenly drops 38,000 feet. While he dropped 38,000 feet, we have the Bermuda Triangle type effects going on because his plane is also listed at doing 727 miles an hour. The top speed of the Boeing 747-400 is 614 miles an hour. Max's plane spends about 4 hours doing weird stuff over New Zealand. We lose track of it again, and he magically makes his gate time in Santiago at about 14 hours. It was this flight here I realized we had a bigger problem concerning flight routes coming out of Sydney and Australia in general than we originally anticipated. I've already explained Oakland Oceanic in another video. All flights flying from Taiwan, Japan, China, going straight across must take a northern route. So all the flights must fly along here and then arc over, every one of them. And we'll see if we can zoom in here. So these flights are coming back in. These flights are going up. They follow along the landmass here, and then they are projected over here and come back down, land in San Francisco, Oakland, Los Angeles, San Diego, whatever. The reason why they do that is because 540 of these types of flights fly across there every single day, picked up by ODAPS once they cross the Pacific Ocean. I disabled a lot of the flights, but there is a massive amounts of flights also coming from the south, going to Hawaii, going to Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, and so forth. This flight route system is designed to keep planes from running into each other, and it's designed to keep everything neat and order. So anything going long ways, like across the United States, will take what they call a polar route, such as LAX to MOW. And anything not taking a long polar route will stay in between here and make the short flights. The woman leaving Taiwan who had the baby and had to make an emergency stop in Anchorage, Alaska, would not have taken a straight line projection on a globe or the azimuthal equidistance flat Earth map. They would have followed the global flight route path that all the flights do up along this coast, projected over and back down to avoid the massive traffic coming from the south all along here. The quickest place to stop for the woman on this projected path would have been ANC Anchorage, Alaska. Concerning the azimuthal equidistance projection map, after speaking with a few pilots and looking at the map, they said their VOR system would not work out very well on a map. And as we tell people that planes do not continually have to adjust downward for the curve of the Earth, but fly a straight and level flight, planes also do not adjust radially east and west on a map that has east and west in a circular position on the map. A plane heading west would have its heading set west and would not have to continually correct, much as we claim they do not have to, following the downward curve of the Earth. The azimuthal equidistance map is not the flat Earth map. It is wrong, and it is also wrong scripturally.
Aircraft and the upper stage begin their first lap around Earth. Mission Control in Houston is monitoring the progress of the flight. Orion's over 100 miles up and going about 17,000 miles per hour. Just as it passes over the Indian Ocean, we lose communication. Passes over the Indian Ocean, we lose communication.
$9 billion, and they can't track it over the Indian Ocean. $9 billion of taxpayers' money, and NASA can't pay the internet bill. Well, if NASA cannot track $9 billion of taxpayer money, don't think for a second anything's tracking planes over water either. But what about flights over the ocean where there are no navigational aids? And when they say there are no navigational aids, they absolutely mean it. Nothing tracks these planes over water. Aircraft follow tracks that are made up of a predetermined set of latitude and longitude coordinates across the ocean. For example, these are the North Atlantic tracks. The same general principle applies to the Pacific Ocean as well, and I'll add the Atlantic and the Indian Ocean. When the flat Earth movement first started, many flat earthers reported that they were losing track of these planes over water. Well, this is why, because nothing tracks the planes. All of the oceanic systems that track the planes through plane-to-plane high radio frequency bounce is controlled by the NOAA, FAA, and NASA. Okay, Max Egan provided me all the information. I talked to him personally. He did make his gate time in Santiago. All the other globe heads that have claimed these flights have never come prepared. That's typical for a globe head. Max Egan was actually prepared and answered all my questions and provided me all the paperwork and information I needed. Now, I don't understand what happened to his flight over New Zealand. A lot of weird stuff happened with that. As for the azimuthal equidistance, if you're asking, well, I thought we could do flights over the North Pole. Well, actually, NASA has provided us information about the North Pole through satellite imagery, and this is what they found. I don't see a problem with this, do you? The Earth is not concave, it's not hollow Earth, it's still a flat, non-rotating Earth, as we always said. The only thing is we just have to change the map. Remember, Jesus said, Luke 10:19, nothing by any means shall hurt you. And we've not been given a spirit of fear, but peace, power, and sound mind. There are a lot of things going on in this world and a lot of voices to listen to, but stay focused in the Word of God. It's your protection, it is your peace. And God has never failed anybody one time who has trusted in Him. Don't fear man and don't have fear of anything. Fear is actually faith in something in the future that's going to come to pass, and it's going to be bad. That is fear. Fear is faith for future events to go wrong in your life. God has promised many things in His Word, that no weapon formed against us shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment, God said He'll condemn it. Isaiah 54:17.